Hi Kevin, this is Ron Hagan with Commercial Fleet Export, and we're at the Mid-America Trucking Show in Louisville, Kentucky in March of 2010, and we're talking with Kevin Tegger of Energy Suspensions. You all know him from the race car business. If you saw us on tracklab.biz, he's the one that makes my Corvette go so well around the corners. But really well kept secret is they make stuff for trucks. Kevin, tell us about you, tell us about Energy Suspension, and tell us about this stuff that we're going to see on the table. What can we do with it? How's it going to help the driver? How's it going to help the operator? And why should they have it?
Well, Ron, I've got answers to all of that. And as you mentioned, we have been involved in the performance industry for over 30 years. About 18, 19 years ago, we started the heavy truck industry. Whereas on the performance side, we try to make products to get the car off the line quicker. We try to make it perform better. And all on the heavy truck side, what we're trying to do is add value to the customer and lower his cost per mile of operation. And that's what this is about. It's about keeping that vehicle on the road, working and making the trucker money, or the trucking company money, and not getting rid of downtime and not having downtime or maintenance expenses. That's what this product does, and it does that in many ways. What we have done is we have combined our knowledge of polyurethane with our engineering expertise as far as the geometry of the suspension, and come up with products that will give the driver 5 to 10 times the life of rubber with this product. Now, I, of course, could sit here for an hour and go over every detail of every item, but to show you a couple key features of the material. The one is, of course, the differences in the materials themselves, and that ranges from very soft durometers to parts that are hard as a rock. This is a 70D material. We have everything in between. We also redesign the part so that it functions better. For instance, this is a torque arm bushing here for or any cleavite replacement. This bushing here, once you replace the rubber with the polyurethane, will allow the bar to move 360 degrees like a bearing, rather than the contained rubber bushing, which only moves 8 to 10 degrees. Now that was fine years ago when they had rubber ride suspensions. Now with air ride suspension, you're asking the suspension to do a lot more than the product was designed for at that time. So again, what we bring to this industry is a update of the existing suspensions, and can absolutely guarantee 5 to 10 times the life of the product. Our glad hand seals. We are the originator of the glad hand seals. We came out with these about 15 years ago. These are now almost a standard in the industry. The rubber seals had an expected life of about 5 to 9 months maximum. Our polyurethane glad hand seals will last 5 to 10 years.
Wow.
Yellow Freight did a time study. It takes 15 minutes to replace a set of these. You do the math. Polyurethane by Energy Suspension polyurethane by far will exceed any longevity that you can get out of rubber.
No truck makes a whole lot of money sitting in the shop.
And especially now, it's not like the old days where you just replace your truck every couple of years. Now people are hanging on to these trucks, and you've got to maintain them. Because you're right, that's exactly right. That truck has to be on the road making money.
So what else you got? You've got torque rod bushings?
Well, we also, whereas of course we excel in suspension, we also have other components, under hood components, such as right here we have the hood rest for the Peterbilt. Well, you talk to any Peterbilt owner and he'll tell you that these things squeak and the hood wobbles and all. Well, by merely replacing it with polyurethane, you no longer have that squeak that's prevalent with rubber between metal, and also it won't wear, so that's going to keep that hood, that expensive hood, that $3,000 hood, it's going to keep that in good shape.
What sort of money retail do you think those are?
These go for, excuse me, these go for approximately $10 to $15 a piece or so,
depending on the application.
which is comparable to rubber, which is comparable. Polyurethane is not necessarily more expensive than rubber. In some cases, it's much cheaper than rubber. Here's a hood roller for a Peterbilt. Every other manufacturer goes to the expense of bonding this metal sleeve to the inside of the elastomer. By not bonding this, it will allow this roller to roll regardless of any kind of adverse conditions. In other words, this sleeve is going to bond, it's going to corrode, it's going to rust to the fastener. There's nothing you can do about that. Now, if you mold that onto here, then the roller will not roll.
Okay.
By just merely as simple as this little design change will now allow that roller to roll 24/7 as long as you have this roller on the vehicle.
Okay.
So again, it's to sum it up, you cannot just make it out of polyurethane and say it's better. You have to engineer it out of polyurethane. Same thing on the body mounts. Here, this is a cab mount for a Peterbilt. You talk to any Peterbilt owner and he'll tell you how much frustration he has with the factory mounts. This is a polyurethane replacement that's easier to install by design and will outlast the original by 5 to 10 times. So again, this does not just fall off the end of its assembly line. This takes a lot of work. We have a very competent engineering staff composed of chemists and engineers that together manufacture or put this part together to work correctly for the application. And it is different for every vehicle, and it is different for every application.
Well, that sounds cool. You got anything new coming out?
Always, yes. We just came out with
stay tuned, huh?
Stay tuned, but we just came out with the air charger bushings for the Peterbilt. We came out with the low air leaf bushings for the Peterbilt. We have a lot more in store.